We're here today to talk about the COVID-19 pandemic, where we are and where we could be going. A lot of us here in Michigan have just gotten back from spring break or going on spring break, and we're doing a lot of things that we weren't doing just a few months ago with regards to COVID-19 and risk. A lot of us may feel like the pandemic is over. A better way to think about it is the COVID-19 pandemic cycle, which we're going to talk about today. The first phase of the COVID-19 cycle is the recovery or post-surge phase. That's where we are right now in Kalamazoo County. Now is the time where we monitor, we look at what's happening in our community. In particular, looking at our wastewater surveillance. In other words, the amount of virus that is in sewage. It's the actual leading edge of something that may be changing in our community. We're continuing to meet with our community partners on a weekly basis, planning ahead. Now is also the time to get vaccinated and to get boosted if you're eligible, and particularly if you're at higher risk, if you're older or have an underlying medical condition. Several things may lead to a transition to a readiness phase of the COVID-19 cycle. That may be, for example, if we detect a large amount of virus in our wastewater, or if we notice a surge in cases in a neighboring community, or if a new COVID-19 variant emerges. All of this would transition us to a readiness phase, which would include preparing for more tests being available, more masks being available, a change in masking policy, and more availability and access to medications to prevent and treat COVID-19. The final phase of the COVID-19 pandemic cycle is response, or a surge. This is when local and state public health will be communicating on a regular basis about increased levels of risk, where local and state public health will be partnering with the community, partnering with our hospitals about masking, change in masking policies, more testing, changing in social distancing guidelines, and also about getting treatment out to the community where people need it most. Worldwide, the pandemic is not over. We see lots of cases and lots of hospitalizations occurring around the world currently today. But we can expect something different from COVID-19 as we move forward. It can be more predictable, happening on a seasonal basis, to expect surges in the fall or winter. When something changes in society, like we go back to school, or something that's unpredictable, like a new variant emerges. Overall, we need to change our strategies when the risk changes. Right now, population risk in Kalamazoo County is low, so we can dial down our mitigation strategies. But if the risk changes, we need to dial them back up. So as we're transitioning to this time of feeling more normal and enjoying spring break, keep in mind those phases of the COVID-19 pandemic cycle: the recovery or post-surge phase, the readiness phase, and the response.